Have you ever found yourself sitting quietly after a disagreement with your partner, wondering, why does this feel so far from what I imagined? You envisioned romance, thoughtful gestures, deep connections, laughter that never ends, and a sense of always being understood. Instead, you're left feeling distant, unsure, and maybe even a little lost. The silence feels heavier. The spark feels dimmer. The person sitting across from you now feels more like a roommate than a soulmate. But what if the issue isn't that the love is missing? What if the real challenge is that our expectations are quietly rewriting the script of our relationships? Let's talk about something we rarely pause to examine. Not our partners, not even our problems, but our expectations. Because sometimes it's not the person or the connection that's flawed. It's the silent hopes we never thought to unpack. We are love in our time. And if you're passionate about real love and honest conversations, take a moment to subscribe and share this with someone who might be silently struggling too. Now, where do our expectations come from? From the time we're children, we absorb messages about love like a sponge. Nigerian movies with dramatic love declarations, American films where grand gestures solve everything, social media couples who seem to always be smiling, even messages we hear in our churches. They all paint a picture of love that looks flawless, fun, and effortless. A picture where the other person always knows what to say, where disagreements are rare and short-lived, resolved with a simple apology or a romantic gesture under the African sunset. And over time, we internalize those scripts. We start to believe our partner should just get us. That if it's truly love, there won't be awkward silences, unmet needs, or difficult days. We expect them to be emotionally available, but also strong and independent. Romantic, yet grounded. Exciting, but predictable. Tender, yet resilient. And when they don't meet those expectations, we begin to question everything. Did I choose the wrong person? Why doesn't this feel like the love I pictured? But maybe, just maybe, we haven't stopped to ask where those expectations even came from, or whether they're realistic in the first place. Let's explore this with some real-life stories from right here in our community. Take John, for instance. He nearly ended a promising relationship simply because his girlfriend hadn't introduced him to her extended family after 6 months. To him, it felt like rejection, like she was hiding him, maybe even ashamed. But when they finally talked, really talked, she explained, "I'm not hiding you. In my family, we take time with these things. My grandmother always said, don't bring every bird to the nest until you're sure it will stay." That moment shifted everything for Jean. He realized he was applying expectations shaped by social pressure, not the actual values and traditions that matter in our culture. Another couple almost broke up over financial responsibilities. She expected him to always pay for everything. Not because she was materialistic, but because her father always provided everything for her mother. That's what love looked like to her. That's what she saw growing up in her home. He, on the other hand, came from a family where both parents worked and contributed equally. For him, partnership meant sharing responsibilities, just like his parents did. Her expectation felt like pressure to him. His response felt like rejection to her. But neither of them was wrong. They were simply operating under different, unspoken rules shaped by their family backgrounds. These stories highlight something we often overlook: how our expectations are shaped by culture, upbringing, past experiences, and even subtle fears we carry. In our African context, we face unique pressures: extended family opinions, community expectations, traditional roles mixing with modern values. Sometimes we expect our partners to navigate all of this perfectly, as if love comes with a manual for handling cultural complexity. Without realizing it, many of us walk into relationships hoping that this person will complete me. I'll never feel lonely again. Love will always feel exciting. If it's real, it will fix everything wrong in my life. They'll understand my family dynamics without explanation. They'll know how to balance tradition and modernity perfectly. But love, real love, isn't a non-stop thrill ride. It's not a filtered highlight reel. It's daily choices to listen, to forgive, to grow, to stay when it would be easier to withdraw, to show up when you feel tired, to speak kindly even when you feel misunderstood, to navigate family expectations together, to create your own path while respecting where you come from. I'll never forget a story from one of our podcast listeners. She shared how, for years, she expected her husband to initiate every serious conversation. In her mind, that was leadership. That was what a man should do. That's what she learned growing up. When he didn't, she felt unseen and disappointed. It became a silent wound that grew deeper with time. One evening, during a particularly tense moment, he said, "I do love you, but when you expect me to be someone I'm not, it feels like I can't win, like I'm always failing you." She said that moment broke her. Not because he hurt her, but because she finally saw the weight of her own expectations. She realized she had been holding him to a standard that came from her family's dynamics, not from who he actually was. That was the turning point in their marriage. Another listener shared a powerful insight. She expected her partner to always understand her moods without needing to explain. It sounds romantic, right? The idea of someone knowing you so well they can read your silence, but it created distance. Because her partner was always guessing, and often guessing wrong. He would bring her tea when she needed space, or give her space when she needed comfort. She said, "When I finally started using words instead of waiting to be understood, our relationship transformed. I realized that expecting him to read my mind wasn't fair. It was actually selfish." Here in Rwanda and across Africa, we also carry unique expectations around respect, family involvement, and roles. Some of us expect our partners to automatically understand the delicate balance of honoring parents while building our own lives. We expect them to know when to speak up in family meetings and when to stay quiet. We expect them to navigate cultural traditions they might not have grown up with. But these expectations, when unspoken, can create unnecessary tension. I remember a couple who struggled because she expected him to always greet her parents in Kinyarwanda, even though he grew up speaking French at home and was still learning. To her, it showed respect. To him, it felt like pressure to be someone he wasn't yet. When they talked about it, they found a beautiful middle ground. He committed to learning, and she helped him practice. Her parents began to appreciate his effort more than his perfection. So, what can we do? How do we realign our expectations without killing the magic of love? Let me share 4 practical, powerful steps that can transform your relationship. 1, build self-awareness. Start by asking yourself, where did this expectation come from? Is it based on my experience or on someone else's story? Have I ever actually communicated it? Is this expectation realistic given our current circumstances? Sometimes we hold on to beliefs that don't even belong to us. They were handed to us by our parents, our culture, movies we watched, or friends' relationships. And we never pause to question them. Clarity begins with honesty. If you've never said it out loud, it might not be fair to hold your partner to it. Take time to journal your expectations. Write them down, look at them. Ask yourself, is this something I really need or something I was told to want? Is this expectation serving our relationship or creating unnecessary pressure? 2, choose open communication. We assume people should know what we want, but love doesn't come with mind-reading abilities. Try this. Instead of saying, "You never do this," say, "Can I share something I've been hoping for? I'd love to understand your perspective too." Some couples have started a weekly check-in ritual. No phones, no distractions. Just the two of them asking, what did I do well this week? Where do we feel disconnected? What do you need more of next week? How can we better support each other's goals? These 15 minutes can change a relationship because when we name our needs clearly and kindly, we create space for connection instead of confusion. Even a simple question like, "What made you feel loved this week?" can uncover powerful insights about how your partner receives love. 3. Respect the differences. You and your partner are not the same person, and that's a strength, not a flaw. Maybe your love languages differ. Maybe you recharge in different ways. Maybe one of you needs time to process while the other wants to talk it out immediately. Maybe one of you is more traditional while the other is more modern in their approach. Instead of trying to change each other, ask, how can we bridge this gap with compassion and understanding? Compromise doesn't mean losing yourself. It means showing up with curiosity about how your partner experiences the world. Celebrate the differences. Learn from each other. Make space for different perspectives. Honor both of your backgrounds and experiences. 4. Create realistic expectations together. This is where the magic happens. Instead of bringing individual expectations into the relationship and hoping they'll work, create new expectations together. Sit down and discuss. What does love look like to each of us? How do we want to handle family relationships? What are our non-negotiables? What are we willing to be flexible about? How do we want to grow together? This isn't about lowering your standards. It's about creating standards that work for both of you based on who you actually are, not who you think you should be. Remember, in our culture, we often face pressure to have everything figured out quickly. Extended families, asking when you'll marry, when you'll have children, when you'll buy a house. These external pressures can create unrealistic expectations in our relationships. But real love takes time. Real love requires patience with the process. Real love means giving each other space to grow, to make mistakes, to learn, and to become better partners over time. So here's what we've learned. Expectations, when voiced clearly and rooted in reality, can help us grow. They reveal our values. They help us define what matters most to us. But expectations that are unrealistic, unclear, or unspoken, they silently sabotage connection. Real love isn't about finding someone who ticks every box perfectly. It's about writing a new script together. It's about learning how the other person gives and receives love. It's about grace, not perfection. It's about patience with the journey. It's about building something beautiful together, even when it's not perfect. And grace means giving space for growth, because love isn't about getting it right all the time. It's about coming back to the table again and again. It's about choosing each other, even on the difficult days. It's about building a love that can weather seasons of change and growth. Your relationship doesn't have to look like anyone else's. It doesn't have to match the movies or the social media posts. It just has to work for you and your partner. Take time this week to examine your expectations. Are they fair? Are they realistic? Have you communicated them clearly? Are they based on who your partner actually is or who you think they should be? Remember, the goal isn't to have no expectations. The goal is to have healthy, realistic, communicated expectations that serve your relationship instead of sabotaging it. Thank you for spending this time with us. If this resonated with you, please share it with someone who might need to hear it today. Subscribe to Love in Our Time for more honest conversations about love, relationships, and what it really means to grow together in our African context. Let's keep learning, keep loving, and keep growing together.